Hey, it's Renee Keel, host of TradeIQ and Chief Operating Officer at BrokerBin, the leading B2B exchange for IT professionals, resellers, and wholesalers. I'm thrilled to introduce TradeIQ to you, the podcast that shares the economic stories of IT hardware resale. Each episode, I interview an industry leader who embodies what it takes to realize success in the ever-changing and highly competitive secondary IT market. What does it truly mean to be an ITAD provider? How do companies mitigate supply chain risks? How can your business thrive amidst changing market conditions that eat away at profit margins? Explore these topics and more on TradeIQ from BrokerBin.com. And while I have your attention, I want to personally invite you to attend a BrokerBin Roadshow. This biannual event brings together ITAD and ITAM providers, wholesalers, resellers, and service professionals all under one roof for 2.5 days of high-value networking. Where else can you make a true, authentic connection with other IT professionals in our industry? Join us in Europe in the spring and in the US in the fall. Learn more and register at BrokerBinRoadshow.com. From a temp agency to big tech B2B sales, Keith Layton has spent over 30 years in the remarketing business. He's worked with such companies as HPE Financial Services, IT Renew, and TES, to name a few. Now, he's serving as the Senior Vice President of Remarketing at Paladin Envirotech, a startup headquartered in Tampa, Florida, and 2 additional processing facilities in Lakeland, Florida, and St. Cloud, Minnesota. Paladin is a certified ITAD provider focused on compliance and sustainability for responsible electronics end-of-life management. What's Keith's secret to leading a successful career? He attributes his success to always doing the right thing and never burning a bridge with the people he's worked with throughout the years. On this episode of TradeIQ, Keith chats with me about what makes our industry special, the people, and shares some golden advice about leadership, management, and relationship building. In this business, it's not just about making a buck, it's about doing right by your employees and customers. All right, well, we finally have the infamous Keith Layton with us. Tell us about your background, Keith.
Yeah, I like to kind of like from the beginning of time. I
Yeah,
graduated from college in 1995. Not a great
same.
time to jump into the workforce. I got an accounting degree from Worcester State. I knew for sure that I was never going to be an accountant. So
Okay.
I called my mom, which is what, a 23-year-old kid would do. And
Yeah.
what do I do next? And my mom gave me great advice. She said, you know what, Keith, just go to a temp agency and get a job. You'll be fine.
Really?
So exactly what I did. I went to a temp agency. They tested me for, my aptitude on things, and they said that, they suggested that I go to G Capital. At the time, it was Digital Financial Services, a captive leasing organization for Digital Equipment Corporation, and so the rest is history. I started with this company just doing odd jobs, and then moved into sales, and then got an opportunity to move to Michigan and work for a great company out there called Great Lakes Computer, which is now V3 Distribution. I know they're big members of BrokerBin as well.
Yes.
Um, and then off to back to HP Financial Services for a decade. Then uh, I left there and went to IT Renew, which turned into Iron Mountain and TES. So 30 years later, here I am at Paladin, a startup, which is exciting. I've never been part of a startup. It's been sort of big organizations along the way, and it's kind of exciting to do something new.
Yeah, it's very exciting. It's really exciting. And I just have to say, mothers know best, right?
No doubt about it.
Mothers know best. My
Absolutely.
son is in college now, and so I'm very happy to hear you say, I called my mom. Yes, call mom. Yes,
Call mom,
call
exactly.
mom.
When in doubt.
Yes. Right. Okay. So you kind of mentioned this, but you recently just joined the team at Paladin Envirotech.
Mhm.
So tell us about that company and your role there.
Yeah, sure. So Paladin's a true startup. Started July 1st
Wow.
of 2025. Yeah, I'm started with 2 great acquisitions. We acquired a recycling company up in St. Cloud, Minnesota, not far from you guys,
Yep.
called IRT, and another recycling company down in Florida called TSI in the Tampa area, and that's where our headquarters is as well. We're working on other acquisitions along the way, growing through acquisition. My role is defined as Senior Vice President of Remarketing. The problem is we don't have an ITAD right now. So that's fine. I'm learning a ton about recycling. I've been selling recycling contracts to, a lot of the BrokerBin community, and yeah, so it's been an adventure learning something new. And once we have that ITAD discipline, I'll be able to go back into what I do best. So I'm looking forward to that.
Sure, that's exciting. And so, what are the industry trends that you're watching now, especially in your new role, and both and kind of on both sides, recycling?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So I, I I hate to use the word unprecedented because with society that word's completely overused today. But what we're seeing in the market right now with memory pricing and drive pricing and all the regulations around GPUs and AI, and I mean this is an unprecedented time. And to
yeah,
be honest, kind of exciting. It's been sort of stagnant for the last couple of years, and it's nice to see the energy in the market. Even going back to the roadshow in Austin, there was a lot of energy in that room.
yeah,
So, it's exciting to see. We really need something like this, but boy, we better be careful as well because
right,
you could get caught
right.
holding too much inventory, or making the government upset because you've
Yeah,
done something wrong with a GPU or whatever. So yeah, it's a fun time.
yeah. And so, do you feel like there's anything sort of specific that's a really big opportunity for your business, or is it just, yeah, talk a little bit about that, like where you're,
Yeah, the opportunity for us, I think, is on the recycling side right now.
okay.
We do things a little bit differently. We're a true recycler, where we are actually shredding material, taking
Mhm,
that shredded material and selling it to a smelter directly.
mhm.
Um, we have a really cool chemistry lab within our facility in Minnesota that, the chemists go in and test the batches to see how much gold and palladium and silver and platinum, whatever they're looking for, it's in there. Then they can sell it based on that percentage. And like, being in this industry for 30 years and never even recognizing that or knowing it is mind blowing to me.
Right.
I didn't know the people at IRT or the people at TSI, and it's a
Oh,
whole new world in our industry that I just never paid attention to.
yeah, I know. That's
Yeah.
great. I was hoping you were going to share that because we talked about a little bit about that in Austin. So
Yeah.
it is very, it's fascinating, right?
It
Like,
it really is, and it's been great to speak to, the community that I know within the industry
yeah,
and
yeah,
tell that story, because that story sort of sells what we do. And I mean, I don't no sales easy, but with the relationships that I have, it's been easy to have this conversation and set uh customers' minds at ease that
right,
we're doing the right thing for them, and
right,
you know obviously the right thing for their clients, which is
right.
more important.
Which is key.
Absolutely.
That is what's key, right? Right. So, and you touched on this a little bit ago, in terms of like mentioning the stagnancy of the market, but comment a little bit about market conditions over the past few years, and then your outlook for the near future, which I think we've kind of heard from you, but anything more you want to share there?
Yeah, the past few years have been really dull. I
Yeah.
mean, like, boring, hard to have any energy, right? The
Mhm.
market was so transparent that it's difficult to get excited on a day-to-day basis. And, the past 3 months have been the exact opposite. This
Great.
insane pricing on memory and hard drives. You come in the next morning, the market has shifted. So
Yeah.
it's like that's the kind of energy that, like, this industry needs.
Yeah.
And when it's here, enjoy it, because obviously it's going to shift back at some
Right.
point.
It'll
So
shift.
enjoy the ride, don't get
Yeah.
hurt,
Yeah.
and do your best to do all the right things and
Right.
make some money right now. So
Right. Yeah, makes money right now. It's funny because when you said enjoy the ride, I was thinking in my head of saying like, yeah, it is quite the roller coaster. And I mean, it's more, I mean, it's always been a little, but this feels really like, an announcement made in the morning or something in the news in the morning is like immediate, like by end of day makes a change. It's like
exactly,
real quick.
exactly, back and forth we go.
Yeah.
And as far as the future goes, I mean, I certainly don't have a crystal ball, but
Right.
my experience tells me that 2020 right through 2026 is going to be a fun ride. It's going to
Yes.
be a fun ride for the whole industry. And I'm not just talking about the server side, the data center side of the business, but PCs and laptops with Windows 11
Yes.
being discontinued. That's gonna transform that market as well. All the AI stuff and GPUs flowing into the market. And I mean, even on the recycling piece with, there's a lot of disruption in the recycling market. So it's it's an exciting time, and
Yeah.
there should be a lot of companies that take advantage of it.
Yeah. Yeah. What innovations do you think are game changers? You obviously mentioned AI.
Yeah, I mean,
Are
envy.
there other innovations you think are game changers in this industry?
Yeah, there's on the recycling side of things, we're working on some things to get rare earth materials outside of magnets. We're really excited about that. It's been announced on LinkedIn, and we're going through some process. I don't have a lot to say about that right now, but we're heading down that path, and it's an exciting one because rare earth materials are hard to come by. China, that's in the news every day. China controls most of that market, and it's important to be able to get that out and reuse it anyway. That's what we're in
Mhm.
the industry to do.
Exactly.
And certainly NVIDIA doesn't need any more praise, but they absolutely deserve it. They've
Yeah.
they've done an incredible job of driving this AI thing, and this AI thing is here to stay. I hope everybody's using it every day because it's useful in a lot of ways. And I will tell you that I think that that's the biggest game changer in the market. um, it's it's going to be very difficult to take residual positions if you're a leasing company on that kind of thing. So there's a lot of work that needs to be done there. But I
Yeah.
mean, this is the future. We're here.
Right. We are here. Yep. And so how much do you think about competition now that you're at Paladin?
I think about competition all the time, but not like you would think. I think our competition in our industry is more like frenemies, right? We all
Right.
know it. We
Yes.
all know each other. We all want the business, obviously. Um, I'm happy when our competitors win. I'm sure they're happy when we win because the truth is there's room for all of us. So
Yes.
as long as we're all doing the proper thing, there's
Right.
room for all of us. So that's
Yes.
how I think about competition. I've worked with some incredible companies through my career.
Yeah.
I share leads with those companies still because there's just, if there's not room for me, I would rather see a friend,
Yeah.
win that business. And it works. When when you pass something on, something's coming back to you. So
Yeah.
again, the competition in this market, there's room for all. And I
Yeah.
think that, like, as long as everybody's doing the right thing, then
Yeah. I love
fantastic.
I love that perspective, especially coming from my position on BrokerBin with the platform of companies where we can see the benefit to people who or companies who may like look like they could be competitors, but actually working together. I mean,
Hmm.
we see it all the time. It's actually one of the biggest things I love about BrokerBin, and that's why the road shows I love because I hear more about that, right? Like, hey,
Exactly.
seeing companies who are have a similar they're going after the same business, right? They're trying to sell the same kind of stuff, or they're trying to whatever it might be, but then finding a way to work together and partnership or use each other when they need to. And I love that.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I love that. I love that. So Keith, tell me, what motivates you to keep doing what you're doing?
I mean, it's easy. It's the people in the industry. It's not true of every member of the industry, but I think it describes a lot of us, as a whole. I
Mhm.
think that we are molded from sort of blue collar backgrounds. And I've been, again, doing this for 30 years, talking to a lot of people. A lot of my friends in the industry come from the same background. My father was a day laborer. My mom was she was data entry back when there weren't computers, and she was data entry in for the government. Like the I
That's
think
actually
that
amazing.
yeah, I think that a lot of the people in our industry come from that background. Good blue collar parents bringing us up to you know do the next thing. And I think that that's the greatest part about, like, this industry is the people.
Yeah.
And again, 30 years later, to know the same people. And I also say that I at the trade shows, certainly
Mhm.
at the roadshow, there was a youth explosion this year. And
Yes.
so like
Yes.
it's so good to see young people coming
Yeah.
into the industry again
Yes.
and again, people. That's why that's what motivates me to keep doing this. So
Yeah. I got to tell you that for the last few years, I've been a little bit concerned about the lack of younger people
yeah.
showing up, honestly, because you feel like my impression was, oh my gosh, we've created this generation that's just going to truly sit behind a screen and just, I am quick and not develop relationships. And so hopefully that trend is turning into the positive in
I
my.
think yeah, I think it goes back to what we were talking about before. There was a long time of zero innovation happening in the industry. Really, we were all doing the same thing. It was dull. There was no new blood because, well, we're just going to do what we do until this ends.
Yeah.
And now with this, this new energy in the market, it's bringing youth in. It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's really great to see because I would love to see the next generation take this thing and make
Yeah.
it better.
Make it better. Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Now, has there ever been a time you've questioned why you're in the industry?
Never once. I mean,
That's
honestly,
awesome.
30 years have flown by. I feel blessed that I've been able to
Oh,
do what I've done in this industry, and I think this industry has taken care of me well.
yeah.
Never burn a bridge.
Right.
Do the right things. You never know when you're going to need somebody, and I'm here too. So here we are. No regrets at all. Yeah.
Yeah. I love it. What is a myth that you wish to debunk about history?
Yeah, so when somebody asks me what I do for a living, I tell them I'm in computer sales.
Yeah.
And no, that doesn't mean I can fix your laptop.
Right.
That's that's the myth I want gone. My
Yeah.
friends need to stop asking me that.
That's amazing. That's so funny.
I don't know how to fix my laptop either.
No, neither do I. I get told regularly, like, don't you work at a tech company? Yeah, no, no, no. But
Exactly.
I don't know tech. I have other people
Yeah, I
who know
mean
that we have the tech team who knows what they're doing. But yeah.
right. I mean, that's the funny part of it. But
Yeah.
the truth is like the myth that we're all just doing this for, revenue on the end. I mean, it is about the environment. It is about
Yes.
sustainability. It is
Yeah.
about, supporting clients. It's doing all the right things. It's not just about making a buck.
Right.
And if you're in it just to make a buck these days, as you better figure out the compliance because you're not keeping those clients.
Right. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. And you can honestly, we can see, Keith, especially here at BrokerBin, but you can see where people who were, in it to just make a buck, as you say, or in it for the money, and they're already,
Yeah, their businesses have slowed down a lot over the years. Still, again, they still have a place, but it's just not as robust as they were before.
yep, exactly, exactly. Tell us about your leadership style and what you feel like makes you an effective leader.
So, when I think about my leadership style, it's sort of it's a, I'm incredibly proud that so many people that I've worked in that have worked on my team and, the other peers, the people that I've mentored along the way are still here.
Yes.
And I think some of that has to do with my leadership style, and that is
Yes.
I never blame, I teach. I expect honesty all the time from everybody. And even when, you do a bad deal, so
Yeah.
what? Own it, learn from it, move on.
Yeah.
Um, you know, do a better job next time if
Yeah.
that's the case and learn from it. And I've never raised my voice. If I'm not happy, we just don't talk for the moment. And the important thing to me though is to think about the legacy that I leave behind, and that's I, I'm getting a little nostalgic here because 30 years later, 54 years old, I don't know how long my career is going to go on. I mean, I've been speaking to a lot of the people that I mentored back in my Great Lakes days and HP Financial and other places, IT Renew. I'll tell you, they're all still here. They're all still in the industry, and it's just awesome to see it. So that's my leadership style is I think, to build people up.
Yeah. I
And
love.
I was built up, as a 23-year-old kid coming in who really, I didn't belong. And I had a couple of mentors that really helped me along and, just sort of passed the torch.
That's great. I love that idea. There's actually lyrics in a song, and now I can't remember the song, but it's about when you get to where you're going to turn around and help the people behind you. That's
Love that.
like a
Love
little
that.
song was playing in my head when you were, yeah, it's so important. And it actually, I mean, it brings so much meaning to what we're doing.
Yeah,
It really,
absolutely.
it really does. And especially because you also have adult children.
I do,
And so, yeah, I feel like when your kids are getting into the work world, you want that for them, right?
without question.
Yeah. Where are your kids now? Have they, because you had one at ASU, right?
So I have a 24-year-old daughter. She's back in Massachusetts.
Okay.
She's an artist.
Okay. Oh,
And she just got a job managing an art studio. So I'm
wow.
very proud of her. I mean,
Wow.
when she told me she wanted to go to art school, as a guy who's accounting degree and my wife has a biology degree, we're like, where did this come from? What is happening? But I'll tell you, she's amazing. She's amazing at what she does, and she's going to be very successful at whatever she does. So I'm super proud of her. And yes, my boy Steven, he's 22. He lives down in Arizona. He goes to Arizona State. He's got about a year left.
Amazing.
He's kind of dipping his toe in the industry right now too.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah, so
That is exciting, Keith. I didn't,
yeah, it is exciting. Yeah.
wow. That's great. I love that. So besides your mom, what are the
Mhm.
best resources you've had along the way?
So the best resources for me has been mentorship from folks that know more than I do. Certainly back in my youth, and I'll tell you, I'm not a book smart guy. I was honestly a terrible student. I fought my way and got my way through college and had some bumps in the road, but I'm never going to be the guy who learns from a book. I'm never going to be a guy who learns from reading or anything, honestly. That I learned just by doing and by listening to mentors. So, that's the biggest resource for me. And again, turning around and handing that back, you know, not everybody needs it, but it's always good to give good advice because when been given good advice along the way, give it back.
Gotta give it back, exactly. And that, I mean, what that's done for you, I mean, the mentorship piece of it, but then the piece of just like having to sort of, work harder through college, if you will, or whatever. I mean, that's created a sense of, or just some grit in you, right? Just
No doubt about it.
resilience and like, we're gonna, yeah.
And even, going back, even as in my 40s, I had a great mentor that gave me the confidence to believe that I can do the next thing, right? So, when sometimes you get imposter syndrome,
Yeah,
it's a real thing. Like,
it is a
do
real,
I belong? When I got promoted to a vice president back at IT Renew, my boss, I said to my boss, I'm like, did you just say vice president?
oh,
He's like, yeah, I'm like, I never thought that would be in the cards for me. And he's like, his response to me was awesome. You can be the vice president of anything. You're great at what you do. Believe in it. So,
oh,
felt great.
yeah. I love
So,
that. I love that. So along the same lines then, a little bit, because I feel like your experience has really, the experience that you're sharing really comes from you holding on to a set of core values from the get-go, to work hard,
mhm.
to show up, and to do the right thing. Like you've been talking about that this entire time. And so tell us a little bit about those core values that you strive to infuse.
So I think you nailed it. I think the showing up is everything. I
Yep.
think, being in a meeting and being attentive. I think being on camera during a meeting, here we are in a time where nobody's in the office anymore.
Mhm.
And the only way to have a meeting is just like we're having a meeting now. And
Yes.
we could easily have these cameras off and I could easily be focused on my email and not focused on these conversations. So just showing up is is everything.
Yes.
Even going back to college, I didn't do well the first couple of semesters. Well, I wasn't showing up.
Yeah.
So, as soon as I started going to class every day,
Yeah.
it was a pretty much
Imagine
easier
that.
experience. Yeah. And that's any young kid off to college, I say, I only have one piece of advice. go to class.
Go to class.
You
Yeah.
cannot mess this thing up if you just show up.
Right, right. Isn't that funny how your kids, or at least we have kids who will kind of get into this mode of like, well, I can't do it, or I didn't, or whatever. And you're like, did you go?
Yeah, exactly. Did you
Were you
try?
there? Did you try? Did you do the
Absolutely.
entire, like this is so, anyway, it is most of the battle
I agree with that.
showing up. Yeah. What advice do you have for hiring new talent?
All right. Hire fast, fire
Mhm.
fast. I
Oh,
mean, it
wow, good.
it
Okay.
sounds tough, but but it works, right?
Yep,
So, if somebody's struggling right away, give them the tools.
yep,
If they don't take the tools, give them more tools. But you've got to make fast decisions, and honestly, those fast decisions are not just for your company; it's for them
right.
as well,
It's for them.
because
Yeah.
they need if wasting time
Mhm.
is no good.
Right,
Move on to the next thing if you're not fit for something,
right,
and honestly make that decision for yourself too. I mean,
right,
if you should be able to recognize that you're not doing well or that
right,
you are doing well.
right.
So
Yeah.
it sounds a little harsh, but
No,
maybe
it's
that's the most harsh you're going to get out of me.
yeah. And what about your secret for retaining talent?
So I think retaining talent is hard, certainly in this industry, the way that it works. You get sort of pigeonholed into the doing the same thing every day. So to me, it's motivating people to learn a new skill, to do something different than the way you've done it before. Believe that we've done it this way all the time. We have to continue to no, find other ways. Make sure that you're constantly improving the process, no matter what you're doing, no matter where you are. You
Mhm.
know, this AI thing, it helps you write a lot better than you would maybe write out of your head, and sure saves you a hell of a lot of time. So,
Mhm.
use these tools. They're right in front of you. So I encourage the people that are on my team to make sure you're constantly getting better at what you do. Don't just sit there and do the same thing over and over again.
Right, right. Keith, you've been a member of BrokerBin for many years. I've been 17 or 18 years.
When did BrokerBin start? That's an interesting question
Yeah,
for me.
2002.
2002. So, yeah, so I was 7 years into my career. I was an early adopter
Okay, yes,
of
you
BrokerBin,
yes.
right?
I'm with this one.
Um, yeah.
And so how do you feel like that has helped you achieve business objectives or make connections?
Yeah.
How has BrokerBin helped you? Because you've
Yeah.
been with BrokerBin in all of these different roles.
Yeah. So, from the beginning, BrokerBin was the very first thing that came up on my computer screen in the morning. Um, when I opened up my, internet connection, and there was BrokerBin, and why? Because at the time, I was responsible for an entire product line that I had to make sure that we had the proper inventory to do builds and to support end user customers. And so I was looking for parts every day.
Yeah.
And sometimes one part, sometimes 10 parts. But back in those days, it was quick buys
Yeah.
all through, AOL IM back in the day. I'm sure you remember that well.
Yes, yes.
But I'll tell you that without BrokerBin, it made things faster for us. Again, going back to that process improvement.
Good.
And you guys emerged on the market out of nowhere, disrupted the market,
All right.
and really took the full market share very, very quickly.
That's a
So yeah, I mean, it's
When
it's
you're talking about back in those days, people used to fax over their parts list.
yeah.
Oh
I
my
was I,
gosh,
I was just
can
talking
you
about that with
imagine?
somebody. Yeah, I was just talking about that with my brother-in-law about how, we used to stand by the fax machine and wait for
Yeah.
lists, and then cut a PO and print it and run to the fax machine and fax it. And how did we ever get anything done?
I
Thinking
don't
about it
know.
that way,
I
right?
don't know. And I'll tell you, I mean, we have quite a few members are still like Excel and, I mean, still doing some of the older
Yeah,
things, but it works.
it does work. I mean,
Yeah.
but what wouldn't work is running back and forth to
No,
fax machines.
I know we're too old for that. Yeah.
I mean, and back then, one server was the price of 20 servers today
I
on the
know,
secondary
isn't it
market. So,
wild?
maybe that's not a perfect, ratio, but what I will say is if we had those same old processes
Yeah,
today, we wouldn't know how
right.
to process the
Well,
business.
right. Right.
So
It's a great example of
yeah,
actually of having to innovate and develop and evolve.
absolutely.
And what about the roadshow? What tips do you have for attendees to get the most out of that networking?
Yeah, show up,
Or really any networking? Yes, show up, show up.
Yeah, it goes right back to, go to class, show
Yep,
up,
yep,
make the meetings,
yep,
attend the meetings, meet some
yes,
people, solidify your relationships, thank your customers, use
yep,
that time wisely. You're
yep.
you're only there for 2 days.
Hmm.
It's more important to spend that time meeting new people because in the evening, go hang out with your friends, the ones you've known
Yeah,
forever. But
right.
spend your days meeting new people.
Things, yep. And that goes for any industry event, right?
Sure,
I mean,
absolutely.
I just am not the thing I advocate for most in our industry is to attend, to be in person, to make these connections. And that is because I see the value of it at our shows, right?
Right.
And
And
so
you guys have been great about your own competition
yeah,
and being frenemies and
yes,
showing up
yes,
and
yes,
going to the
yep,
conferences that are outside
yeah,
of your arena, which you know
right.
what? Good on you. It's the
Yeah.
right thing to
And
do.
it is because it's important for this industry.
Right.
All of these events, all of this opportunity to connect, is what's going to get this industry through these next couple of years. I mean, that's how we're going to innovate together. That's how we're going to, I mean, when you think about things like this is now I get excited, but when you think about things like AI development, or even what we've just gone through in the last few months with tariffs, right? That affects everyone.
Absolutely.
We have to have platforms and methods and ways of connection to understand how we're going to move as an industry through this.
Right. Agreed.
And I mean, everybody, maybe not everybody, but the vast majority of us want success for this industry and want to get to, circularity. And like you mentioned earlier, it is good for the planet. I mean, this is good. What we're doing in this industry provides a lot of good things
Absolutely.
for our country, and so yeah, and the world. And so I just think we need to. I'll get off my own soapbox and let you.
Yeah.
I just
No,
think
yeah.
the connection and showing up is so important, and even just getting on the phone, Keith. We have that conversation around here a lot with our sales team. Is we've moved to email, we've moved to electronic ways of communicating, and technology is awesome. But you miss something, like you said earlier, to not get on the phone or get on video during these
Right.
conversations. Use the technology in a positive way, not to skirt having to talk to somebody. Do you know what I
That's
mean?
exactly right. That's it. But it's tough these days because you make a phone call, nobody answers their phone
I
anymore.
know, I know.
And
We're in this. Yep.
the only way you're talking to people today is if you schedule a meeting.
I know.
Which, you know what, that's fine. But
That,
there needs to be times where I need to call somebody and they need to pick up the
yes.
phone. And
Yes.
we're all guilty of it. If I don't recognize the number,
Yeah.
I might let that thing go to voicemail and
I
listen
know.
to it after. So
I know. Isn't it funny too, again, with your kids that I have a 13-year-old still at home, and she has no concept of answering the phone and just saying hello.
right. They don't ring doorbells either.
Yeah,
They
no.
show up to somebody's house and they text, "I'm here."
I know. That's right. They do.
That's
They
right.
do. Like, go to the door, say hi.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh. That's funny. That's funny. Okay, so actually that was kind of my next question, was thoughts about face-to-face communication, but I think we covered that.
Mm-hmm.
We are both pro
Absolutely.
face-to-face communication. Okay, tell us how our listeners can learn more about Paladin.
So Paladin has been
Paladin.
no, it's fine. Listen, it's better than the long name of Paladin Envirotech, which
Yeah, yeah,
tells the story. But yes,
yeah.
Paladin,
Paladin.
I think people are going to learn a lot about us. Brian, our CEO, has hired, two industry execs at the C suite in the C suite. Bill Vasquez, Chief Operating Officer, has been in the industry a very long time with a lot of similar businesses to mine. The two of us met starting with IT Renew and
Yeah.
pushing through Iron Mountain, and we've been together ever since through tests and now here. Bill is an incredible operator within our industry and really does care. Brian also hired a great CFO. Um, um, that executive team, along with the rest of the leadership team, we're on the same page. We're on calls together. We're talking about where we're going next. We've got awesome tailwind. We're excited about being a part of this, and again, starting with the recycling and building into ITAD. We're on our way. So
that is really exciting, Keith. Congratulations.
Thanks. I mean, kind of a big leap of faith to go to a startup at 54 years old, but you know what? The people around me, I trust them. I think they trust me. I think we're going in the right direction. I have a lot of friends in the industry. We'll make some waves.
Yeah, you sure will. You sure will. I assume LinkedIn, profile on BrokerBin, all those places people can find you.
Anytime. LinkedIn is certainly the best way. I mean, and just to connect the BrokerBin profile, I think right now people are not going to find us, but maybe by the time this airs, they will.
Okay.
Because we're still on. It doesn't say Paladin yet.
Okay.
So
it will.
Yes. Well, that's on us. Rob's done a great job of saying when's the change coming.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you so much for the conversation this morning, Keith. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, thank you.
And hear your story.
Yeah, I appreciate it. And it's fun to try to get the story out, and at the same time, a little nerve-wracking. And this isn't my specialty, but I'll tell you what, you make it really easy for me to have a conversation. So thank you as always.
Yeah. Take care.
All right. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks again to Keith Layton from Paladin Envirotech for joining the podcast. TradeIQ is a production of BrokerBin, the leading global community for IT lifecycle professionals. Subscribe to TradeIQ for new episodes as we share the economic stories of IT hardware resale from industry leaders who work tirelessly to expand asset lifecycles and eliminate e-waste. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time on TradeIQ from BrokerBin.com.